Think about making a life with someone for 30 years and then seeing it all fall apart. Then picture that the person you love quickly and deeply breaks up with you and marries someone else. A famous marriage therapist named Dr. Doug Weiss went through this when he stopped his long marriage to Lisa Weiss and married Joni Lamb, who helped start the popular TV network Daystar. That's not the end of the story, though. Some shocking things Lisa Weiss said about her ex-husband not long ago shocked a lot of people and made them question Doug's character and the decisions he has made. A lot of people know Dr. Doug Weiss as a marriage counselor. A lot of people have heard him speak, read his books, and worked with him to make their interactions better. But Doug's personal life has become a big source of debate, even though he seems good at work. Lisa Weiss and Dr. Doug Weiss were married for more than 30 years. The two of them looked like they would make a great couple for a long time. Doug was a well-known marriage counselor, someone who worked with other couples to make their relationships better. He spoke a lot about how important love, faith, and loyalty are in a relationship. Because of his work, a lot of people looked up to him. Doug and Lisa looked like they would get along great. They did work together, went to public events together, and were active in their church group. A lot of people paid attention to Doug's marriage advice. He talked about how to improve partnerships in books and talks. People knew that he could help partners stay together even when things got hard. It wasn't true that Doug's own marriage was perfect just because he was good at helping other people with theirs. Every relationship has flaws. Doug and Lisa had been married for a long time, but trouble started to happen that not many people knew about. Something changed after 30 years of being together. The relationship between Doug and Lisa was over. But everyone was shocked when Doug said he was divorcing his wife. Because Doug had always talked about how important marriage was, it was tough for people to understand. He made a living by telling other people how to keep their marriages alive, but now he was killing his own. Plus, how quickly Doug moved on made things even stranger. He married Joni Lamb, co-founder of Daystar television network, not long after his split. A lot of people were shocked. Doug married Joni almost right away after being married to Lisa for 30 years. After being married for so long, people began to wonder why he didn't give it more time to think about. Lisa said that one big problem was that Doug stopped caring about her. She said that he became less interested in their relationship as time went on. There was more to it than just fighting. It was about Doug getting farther away. Lisa felt alone, even though they had been together for a long time. A lot of people who knew Doug said that he became very focused on his work. Lisa felt like she wasn't important anymore because he spent more and more time on his job. She thought that Doug's job took up so much of his time that it hurt their relationship. She felt like no one was paying attention to her. Being in the public eye was also a source of stress. A lot of people knew about Doug's personal life because he worked as a marriage counselor. It was even harder for him to understand why he got divorced since he was always telling other people how to save their marriages. People began to wonder why the person who helped other people keep their marriages together couldn't do the same for his own. Everyone was shocked at how quickly Doug moved on after they broke up. He married Joni Lamb, co-founder of Daystar television network, not long after splitting up with Lisa. This was a big surprise. Doug seemed to get married to Joni very quickly after being married to Lisa for a long time. A lot of people were confused by Doug's quick second marriage. Did he think about getting a divorce before it happened? Did he feel something for Joni before it ended? Why did he get married so fast after being married for so long? There were rumors going around. Some people said Doug and Joni had been friends for a long time. When they were Christians, they worked together. Some of them even said they were close before Doug and Lisa split up. This made people wonder more about when Doug was going to get married. Doug was married to Lisa at the time, but he was already seeing Joni. Lisa Weiss didn't keep quiet for long after they broke up. Her story was important to her because she had been through a lot. Lisa said, "It hurt a lot when he chose to break up with me. He married Joni Lamb so soon after we broke up, which hurt even more. I did everything I could to save our marriage. It caused me to think a lot about things. After being married for a long time, how could someone get married again? Did they have something going on before?" Lisa also said she didn't think Doug would be single forever, but the speed with which he hooked up with someone else made her feel like she wasn't important anymore. He didn't seem to care about the time they spent together at all. Lisa had a hard time with this. Lisa talked about how hard it was to deal with everything in public. It seemed like everyone could see how much pain she was in, making it even tougher to deal with. She needed some time to heal, but it was hard because everything was so public. The fact that Doug moved on so quickly made things even worse. Lisa found it hardest to let go of the life she had planned with Doug. She thought that things would get better between them over time and they would stay together forever. But when Doug quickly got married again, Lisa knew that her hopes for a future with him were over. She thought her whole life had changed in an instant when Lisa turned around. Even though things were hard, she saw that there were also good times. They were happy together for a long time, and she would always remember those times. It's simple to forget the good times when things are tough. Lisa knew there was love and happiness, even though it ended in pain when she looked back. Lisa also said it was important for her to get better and move on. She knew she would find peace in time, even though it wasn't easy. She told her it was okay to move slowly and feel the pain first. On the other hand, Doug never really explained why his marriage ended. He didn't talk much about the reasons why they were getting a divorce. He thought about his new life with Joni instead. People were angry about this because they wanted to know more about why Doug and Lisa's marriage ended. Doug didn't talk about how he felt or the things that made the breakup happen. He seemed more interested in moving on instead. Joni Lamb talked about her friendship with Doug in public after he married her. Joni said that they had loved and helped each other through a hard time. She said that their bond had grown stronger as they got over their problems together. Joni also made it clear that she was pleased with her new husband, Doug. She said they were happy about the future together. A lot of people began to wonder why Doug got married to Joni so quickly. Some people thought his choice wasn't just about love, but also about money. People wondered if Doug married Joni because she worked for Daystar, a big Christian TV network, and the job gave her access to money and other possibilities. This made a lot of people angry. While Joni was doing well at Daystar, some people thought Doug was using it to help himself. They thought he was more interested in power and money than in being with them. A lot of people began to think that Doug cared more about his future in the media than about getting over his split from Lisa. Some people didn't like Doug and Joni's relationship, but they seemed happy together. Being in the public eye put them through a lot, but their strong faith bond helped them get through it. Joni saw being with Doug as a way to celebrate her time with Marcus and look forward to her time with Doug coming up. People were very angry and upset when Lisa Weiss told her side of the story after she and Doug split. What Lisa said shocked people who knew Doug as a marriage coach. She was honest about her mental problems, and a lot of people didn't like how quickly Doug got married again to Joni Lamb. People had many thoughts on Doug's personal life and how quickly he moved on. One of the main complaints was that Doug married someone else so quickly. After being married to Lisa for 30 years, a lot of people thought Doug should have taken more time to heal before dating someone else. His ex-wife helped start Daystar television network, and he married Joni Lamb just a few months after they split up. There were many people who helped Doug. They said divorce is a private matter, and that not many people know what goes on behind closed doors. They also said that Doug had been open in his books and talks about the problems in his marriage. Some people were upset about how quickly he got married again, but they thought everyone had the right to move on and be happy after a bad breakup. People who liked Doug also said that his personal life shouldn't affect his work as a counselor and that he had helped many couples. People had different thoughts, but it was clear that how people felt about it touched both Doug and Lisa. Lisa didn't like the criticism, but it did give her a chance to tell her story. Lots of people were there for her. They knew how much pain she was in and respected her decision to speak out. People could better understand how hard her breakup was because she was brave enough to talk about her emotional problems. Joni Lamb and her late husband Marcus Lamb helped to start the Daystar television network. It's a big place for Christian shows, but it was also involved in the About Dr. Doug Weiss divorce and remarriage. Since Joni Lamb helped to start Daystar, because she worked in Christian media, a lot of people were interested in her personal life, especially her marriage to Doug Weiss. A lot of people became interested in Daystar because of Doug and Joni. Family values, marriage advice, and spiritual growth are all things that Daystar is known for. But Doug's quick marriage to Joni after his split from Lisa seemed to go against what the network teaches. Some people didn't understand how a couple that talks about getting married could quickly get divorced and remarry in public. A lot of attention was also paid to Joni Lamb's part in the situation. People wondered if it was right for her to be with Doug because she was an important part of running Daystar. Since both Doug and Joni were well known in the Christian community, some viewers thought that personal problems were getting in the way of Daystar's guidance. But Daystar mostly kept quiet when people said bad things about them. The network kept focused on its religious shows, but the friendship between Joni and Doug made it hard to stay out of the news. This issue has been getting a lot of attention lately, especially after a shocking choice that made a lot of people wonder what will happen to Daystar. A big surprise in the story was when co-founder of Daystar Joni Lamb fired her own son, Jonathan Lamb, from the network. Jonathan had worked on and off air for many years as an important part of Daystar. That's why many people were shocked when Joni fired him. Jonathan had a hard time too. What a hard thing for a son to go through when his mother let him go. Even more so from a place they had both worked so hard to make. People started to wonder if Daystar was running itself based on personal problems instead of the values it had always stood for. When Jonathan was fired, some people worried that the family problems were hurting the network. They also began to wonder what this meant for Daystar's future. What do you think about Doug and Joni getting married so soon after he split up with Lisa? Do you think it goes against what they teach about family and marriage? Because Doug is a marriage counselor and Joni works at Daystar, their personal lives are talked about a lot. How do you feel about that? Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment or liking the video. Thanks for watching.